Funding for HomeTowne Pets is provided by the Animal Clinic of Morris Plains, 3009 Route 10 in Morris Plains. Veterinary care for companion animals, exotics, avian, and pocket pets, and Choice Pet 1260 Springfield Avenue in New Providence or at choicepet.com, your source for all your pet care needs.
Hi, I'm Amy Przbilko, and welcome to the special holiday episode of HomeTowne Pets. As usual, I'm here with Nora Parker, who's the Goodwill Ambassador at the St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center. Nora, it's great to have you here, and there's a lot of exciting stuff going on here at St. Hubert's. So can we talk a little bit about the pet adoption process?
Absolutely. The holidays can be a wonderful time to add a pet to the family, and it's really no different than adopting at any other time of year. If you're ready to add a pet to the family, the holidays can be a great time to do that, and there's some fun ways to do it.
Can you tell me a little bit about ways that we could give a pet?
Sure. Some families like to surprise one or more family members, sometimes their children, sometimes another relative that they know would welcome a pet, and so they can come and choose the pet and present them to that family member at that time. We even have Santa deliveries that we can talk about later.
Oh, sweet.
Or they may want to choose to get a gift certificate. We have gift certificates for a new pet. And then they can make a nice basket of pet supplies. We have all sorts of things for cats and dogs, and you can package those things with your gift certificate.
What are those that you're holding?
Oh, they're
What's
dog
that?
toys and cat
Okay.
toys, and we have little stockings, and all these things are available in our Buddy's Boutique gift store. You can make a nice basket, put the gift certificate in, and then join the recipient and make it an outing to go
Sweet.
out and choose the
Right.
pet.
Now,
and
is
use the
this a
gift
little
certificate.
sweater for a dog?
Sweater for a dog.
Adorable,
We have coats
with
for dogs.
reindeer. Coats.
We have coats for dogs and sweaters in all sizes. And if you shop at our Buddy's Boutique at Madison and say that you saw it on HomeTowne Pets, we'll give you our employee discount of 10%. And
Nice.
things
I was
like our
going to
mugs,
say, I would
if you're
love to
looking
have
for
a
gifts
mug.
for humans, we have some logo wear, and those things all promote the idea of adoption. When you wear this out, people ask you, what is that? And you can talk about adopting a pet. So we have all kinds of things that you could get at Buddy's for your pet, for yourself, for a gift.
Great. And we've got some cats that we're going to
We
meet here
do.
today.
We have some kitties for adoption that are going to join us. The first kitty that Olivia is going to bring us is Cutie. And Cutie is about a year old. We responded to a very sad case of abuse and neglect for kitties. And there were 39 cats. And they were terribly malnourished and suffering from some minor maladies. Here comes the beautiful Olivia with Cutie. And so we brought them all to the shelter, and they were able to be treated for some minor things. And as you can see, Cutie's a very inquisitive one. And now they're just in the process of getting good nutrition and gaining some weight. They're sweet, adorable kitties.
Now,
who
how many
deserve a loving
cats
home.
around of the ones that you picked up, out of the 39 cats, how many have been adopted at this time?
A number of them have been adopted. Some are still in foster care, and we have a number of them. And the 193 that we talked about in our last episode, some of those are still available for adoption.
Right.
So we're hoping to see
Right.
cuties like Cutie go home for the holidays.
Can you talk a little bit about the foster care program?
We can. A lot of these kitties went into foster care because they just needed some TLC and some weight gain. So people that can open their home and foster for a short period of time, we ask them to call Steve at our volunteer office. He's our foster coordinator, and he'll get them set right up for temporary housing of animals.
Which is nice, because then it gives you the chance to have the experience of having a pet in your home, right? To see how it feels with the family.
It does. And
In my case, how it feels with the family and
it
get
gives us
acclimated.
lots of information about how that pet is in a normal household because the shelter isn't a normal environment for a pet to live in. So we get lots of info too. And our second friend is Boots.
Here.
You may have the wiggly cutie.
Hello.
And our second friend is Boots.
Hi, little guy.
Boots is has not any issue with nutrition and weight gain. Thank you, Tom. Boots is a big fellow. He's about 2 years old, and he's quite a cuddler. Boots loves to be held, and he loves to explore things. And he, too, would make a great holiday addition to any family. He cannot wait to get down and explore everything.
They both seem like they're ready to play here.
They are, and they're both very affectionate, loving cats that would do really well in a normal home situation. They're very well behaved, they eat well, and they behave well. And as you can see, this is not a normal thing to do. And yet, while he would like to get down and explore and just notice the lights on the tree, he's not difficult to be held or
what I've noticed with Cutie too, just it took a second or so, and then just settled right to get settled right in. So sweet.
But you know, curiosity in cats, so they would love to get down and explore the set. So if you're interested in either of them or any of our beautiful cats, visit any one of our sites 7 days a week and take some feline fun home to your house.
And you can also call St. Hubert's at 973-377-2295 to inquire about these two little guys or any other pets available for adoption this year. We'll be right back with some great dogs that also need a home this holiday season.
Hi, I'm Paul Sedlacek, and this is the Animal Clinic of Morris Plains. The holidays are a popular time to bring in new pets into the home. 3 areas to focus on would be preparing the pet, preparing the people, and preparing the home. Be sure to have a crate available for your dog. This reduces stress, is important in housebreaking, and reduces destructive behavior. Know what diet your pet has been on, so if you decide to switch diets, you can transition slowly to reduce digestive upsets. Make sure your pet is current on vaccinations, especially if it's going to be exposed to other animals. As far as preparing the people, make sure we have lots of love and affection to the pet. It's learning the house rules, especially housebreaking, so be patient. Don't overwhelm the new animal. Allow rest and quiet time. Avoid table food and sweets. Many of these are available around the holiday time. And watch out for alcohol. Put away human medication and especially flavored animal medications. I myself have had an accidental ingestion by my own dog when I thought a medication was out of reach. In the home, be sure your Christmas tree is properly anchored, that potentially dangerous ornaments are out of reach, and the Christmas tree water is not accessible. Mistletoe and holly both can cause digestive upsets. Lilies can cause kidney failure if ingested. Tinsel is highly dangerous to cats and can cause an intestinal obstruction called the linear foreign body. And lastly, holiday candles can be a source of burns for the pet or causing a fire if knocked over. Follow these simple tips and you and your pet can enjoy a happy and healthy holiday season. Right, Chloe?
Dogs are a great gift for the holiday season, and if you already have a pet or you're thinking of adopting one, there are some things you need to keep in mind to keep them safe with the weather conditions. So let's talk a little bit about what the potential hazards could be with your pet.
Okay, first I think, especially if you're thinking about adopting for the holidays, there's some indoor things to be mindful of. You want to make sure that you're careful with plugs and things like that when we're plugging extra things in. If you have animals that tend to grab things with ornaments that you put on the low-hanging branches of your tree.
Put those higher up, right?
You want to keep human food away from pets. Chocolate can be toxic. So a great way to avert those people that just can't say no to those pleading pet eyes is to have a little bowl of pet treats out along with your other holiday treats. And if they simply must cave to your animals, they will use the appropriate treat. And you want to be very careful with candles. Kitties especially are fascinated by the light of candles. So you just want to take care and think of your pets while you're decorating. And then when you get outdoors in the winter weather, there are great pet safe ice melters now that we use around our homes. But of course our town isn't using those on the street.
Right.
So if you've been out walking You want to rinse the feet with warm water and dry them when you get inside, because those chemicals can be very irritating to the foot pads. We want to be careful. Sometimes people think it's fun to watch the dog run around on the frozen lake, but like people, they can fall and injure knees and hips and things. And in deep snow, we need to remember that that affects the smells to our animals, the snow. So you want to keep your pets close if they're running with you, because they can't always smell their way back to you as well. And then I think a final tip for those that are caretakers of our community cats, the feral cats, is to make sure in winter that they're adding extra straw to insulate those feral cat houses, and checking several times a day that they have water that's not frozen, and bulk up the food a little bit for those guys during the cold winter while they're trying to stay warm.
Great, thank you. Those were really good tips. Next we have Nina.
We have Nina that Colleen is bringing up to meet us. Nina, come up, girlfriend. Nina is about 4 months old, and she has arrived from South Carolina. It's okay, Nina.
Here, let's come down here.
She's a little bit frightened. We can get her up here and
Okay.
she'll feel better. She's just a little bit shy. She's about 4 months old. She will make a great addition to a family, and she's looking forward to her first holiday season. So we'd love for her to spend that in a permanent home.
And what kind of dog is she?
She's a lab mix, so she may grow almost twice as big as this, because she's 4 months now.
Right.
And all those safety tips we talked about are things you want to be really careful with, especially a dog of Nina's age, because just like babies, puppies put everything in their mouth. That's how they investigate. So if you're interested in adopting Nina, thank you, or one of her friends, she would be a great addition to a family, and we think she would love living in a family with some kids that she could grow up with.
And she's settled down so nicely.
Now she's happy.
And I see that Catalina has arrived.
And she likes to make an entrance.
Hi.
Come on up, girlfriend. Good girl. Hey, Catalina. Atta girl.
So you were telling me a little bit about Catalina's background. Where is she from?
She is from the island of Vieques. She came to us shortly after Hurricane Maria, so she's been with us about a year. She's a big, strong girl, but sweet as pie. And she's been out in foster care a couple of times, and we're told she's very well behaved in a household. You should look at the camera so they can see your loving face. She's a friendly girl. She's well behaved in the house, and as strong and as active as she likes to be. We've seen pictures of her when she's in foster. She is also a great couch potato snuggler. So
And
she
she's
really
good
brings,
with kids.
She really brings the best of all worlds to people. She's a sweet, loving girl, and she would benefit from finding a permanent home and would make a great addition to the family.
Tell me a little bit about how a family like ours could go on a field trip with one of your rescue pets.
Field Trip is a new program that we've just started prior to the holidays, but it will continue on. And individuals or families, as long as you're over 18, can come into the shelter and take one of our dogs for a field trip. And you design the field trip, whether you want to go to the park, go over to your house, take a walk through town. And it's a great program. You can go for an hour, or you can keep the pet for the entire day. It helps the animal get out of the shelter, maybe meet a potential adopter while you're out, and gives us more information about how they are in a normal household, or normal daily activities outside the
And you would tell us what we would need to know if we were going to bring them into our home, or if we were to bump into other dogs along the way.
Absolutely. You come in, they'll debrief you, meet you, your family, and they'll make a match for you of a dog that they think would be a good field trip companion based on your experience and what you tell them. You really don't need more than a little bit of experience in having walked a dog before, and the staff will match you up with a field trip dog and tell you everything you need to know while you're out.
I think this would be a great gift to give to my family.
It is a wonderful thing. It works great. It helps the dogs get adopted. It gives us so much more information about the dogs because they're out doing normal, everyday dog things outside the shelter. And it's great for people who, for whatever reason, maybe can't commit to having a dog as part of their household permanently right now, but it gives them a good dog fix. And we feel like if you're going to go out walking around, you might as well take a dog with you.
That. Yeah, I think that's going to be a very successful program.
It already
starting
is.
Here,
we
and
started
I'm really
very
excited.
recently.
Yes.
And the field trips are booming.
If you are interested in adopting any of these pets that you've seen, call 973-377-2295. We'll be right back with some other pets available for adoption this season. Can we talk about some of the holiday traditions here at St. Hubert's?
Of course. One of our all-time favorites all year long is our Santa deliveries.
Oh.
People come in to the shelter and they choose a pet, and someone in the recipient's family doesn't know about the pet. So if they're within about a 30-minute radius of one of our shelters, they can arrange for Santa to deliver the pet on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day.
And that's the magic.
Santa and the elves come and they knock on the door at the appointed time, and there is Santa with a cat carrier or a dog on a leash or a guinea pig in a special carrier, and someone is very, very surprised by that gift. And it's well received not only by children.
Right.
We've had families who dad was the person being surprised when the doorbell rang and thought it was the greatest thing ever.
That's so cool.
To have Santa bring the new kitty. So if people want to do that, if they're within about a half-hour's drive from any of our shelter sites.
And can you tell me where the other shelter sites are?
We're in Madison. We're also in North Branch, Somerset County, and in Ledgewood, New Jersey. So they can visit the shelter. We start making the arrangements about 2 weeks before Christmas.
Okay.
Is the time for people to inquire about a Santa delivery and get that set up. And then they would come in and choose their pet. And do the adoption is done exactly like every other adoption.
But it's never too early to come in and choose the pet that they want for the Santa delivery?
We don't start till about 2 weeks ahead because we don't hold pets in the shelter for very long. So they would get set up, but they may not pick the actual kitty until a few days ahead of time.
Okay, great to clarify.
Yeah, we want to make sure that the actual choosing isn't too far ahead.
Okay.
And then they create that memorable moment for their family. And that is something they never forget when they got that kitty, dog, or bunny or guinea pig. So that's a great one. We also have a more temporary program that's called Home for the Holidays. And we invite people to have an animal who's awaiting adoption as a guest in their home on Christmas Eve. And they do a sleepover and spend Christmas Day with the family. And then the next day they return to the shelter in time for adoption hours, if indeed they return. Sometimes they find their permanent home that way.
I can imagine.
And it's not always with their host family. Sometimes it's a neighbor who saw them walking the dog or a guest in their home. But those arrangements, again, about 2 weeks before, people can say they would like to do that. And then a couple days before the holiday, the pets and the families are selected. We don't hold up an adoption, So, you know, I may be thinking that I'm going to have Fluffy for a sleepover, but if Fluffy gets adopted, they'll set me up with another pet. And they go home with their food and their blankie and a little overnight bag and a gift to open on Christmas. And they get time out of the shelter and they spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with their host family.
What about the Tree of Life ceremony?
The Tree of Love.
It's our
Tree of Love ceremony.
Tell me a little
Tree of
bit
Life
about the Tree.
It is a play on words of the
right.
Tree of Life that we all hear about. The Tree of Love is a special program that we do every year. We've been doing it for years. And that takes place here at Madison. And we invite anybody from the public to come to our Tree of Love lighting ceremony and reception. And that's this year on Wednesday, December the 12th. So if you're watching prior to the 12th, please consider coming up for that. It runs from 5 to 8 p.m. People may come in, visit the shelter, and they make a donation, and then we ask them to fill out a tribute for our Christmas tree, either for a pet that is a part of their family or for a pet that they would like to remember that's no longer with them. They hang those all on the tree, and then we do a special lighting ceremony, and we give everybody baby's breath to add to the tree in memory of pets that they have loved and lost throughout their lifetime. So it's just a warm and cozy evening to celebrate the holiday. We have hot chocolate and cookies, and it's a nice way for a family to get out for an early evening treat.
Yes, yes. And then at the end, you have this beautiful Tree of Love.
We do, and that's on display throughout
Right.
the holiday season. If you can't make it on the 12th, you can come in anytime up until New Year's and fill out your tributes and add them to that tree.
It's very sentimental.
It is. It's a nice event.
Okay, so I want to know how I can give to St. Hubert and we as a community can give to the center.
Well, thankfully, there are endless ways that you can support homeless animals over the holidays. Of course, the most common is a traditional monetary
Right.
gift that can be done online, in person, or through the mail, however people prefer. And I think that for many of us, we're in either a stage of our lives or whatever we're doing that we're not always looking for more stuff. So a lot of people choose to make a gift in honor of someone else who
Right.
loves animals. You can also set up your own fundraising page on our website where you can say, here's my holiday wish list to all my friends. Rather than buying me a gift, please make a gift in my honor to my favorite animal charity. And you can set your own goal for how much you would like to try and raise, and that can be the holiday gift that all of your friends give you. You can also shop at Buddy's. We looked at a lot of the items from Buddy's, and we call those the gift that gives twice. You get a nice gift for your friend's pet or your friend, and you're supporting the shelter through those proceeds. And then there's our wish list. We always need supplies. So people can go to our wish list or our Amazon wish list for direct donation. And lots of children like to get involved with that. And I think you mentioned that your daughter is going to be involved in a holiday gift giving, supporting the shelters.
Right. Their Girl Scout troop they're making pillows and then they're bringing them here, or blankets to go in the cages. And what a sweet way to get involved here.
It's a great way for kids to get involved. We love that they get involved in that way. All of our animals at the shelter get fresh bedding every day. Some take better care of it than others, but we love those kinds of kids projects. They make holiday themed blankets for the animals. So that's a great way to give too.
We have a bunny that has just arrived.
Thank you, Carly. And who do we have here? Bugs.
Bugs. Oh my gosh,
Bugs is a great
Bugs.
bunny name for a 4-month-old bunny.
Bugs is beautiful.
And I believe these bunnies came to us. We, of course, spay and neuter all our bunnies before we place them for adoption. Bunnies can be very difficult to tell the sex of when they're little. And some people get into trouble by having 2 bunnies. And the next thing they know, they have baby bunnies, which doesn't take very long. So these bunnies were surrendered, and then the babies went into foster care, and Bugs is about 4 months old. Bunnies can be wonderful pets as long as you educate yourself about proper bunny care. But not everybody wants a dog or a cat, so we don't like to leave out. We have a great small animal suite, and we almost always have bunnies, guinea pigs, hamsters, rats, some birds, all of the little, what we call the little small and furry pocket pets available for adoption. And Bugs is a very personable bunny. As Carly said, Bugs is about 4 months old. And so this bunny has been handled since it was very tiny and is very comfortable sitting. Bunnies, one of their favorite things to do is to sit and watch movies with people and share popcorn. They like popcorn as a treat.
Really? Oh my gosh. Now, what about taking a bunny outside?
Well, you can teach bunnies to walk on a harness.
Yes.
And take them outside. And many people set up a little pen.
That's what
outdoors
I've seen.
to take their bunny outdoors for some exercise, supervised. You have to be very careful, of course, that there are no chemicals used.
Right, on the grass.
On your lawns, and that you're careful with what other plants are around, and that the bunny always be supervised.
Yes.
Because other animals may come by and disturb the bunny. So you can get a bunny out for some fresh air, but always under supervision. And these bunnies they don't live outdoors, though. These are house bunnies who live inside. And you can set up pens inside to give them what we call a hop about. And they will play with toys. And this is one very personable bunny.
Sweet.
Kind of a dilute calico color, like a calico
That's
kitty.
what I was saying when I first saw it. Bugs, just a beautiful color. And very sweet.
Bugs, too. You could arrange a Santa delivery for a bunny like Bugs to join your family.
So thank you, Nora.
Thank you.
We have had a tremendous amount of information here today, caring for your pets and how to adopt a pet here at St. Hubert's, giving to St. Hubert's. And if you're interested in any of these pets for adoption, the number is 973-377-2295. I hope you can find a place in your heart and in your home for one of these animals that we've met here today. I'm Amy Prisbilko, and thank you for watching HomeTowne Pets. From all of us here at St. Hubert's and HomeTowne, we want to wish you a very great, happy holiday season and a happy new year that's full of love, peace, and hopefully a new pet.
Funding for HomeTowne Pets is provided by Choice Pet, 1260 Springfield Avenue in New Providence, or at choicepet.com, your source for all your pet care needs, and the Animal Clinic of Morris Plains, 3009 Route 10 in Morris Plains. High-quality veterinary care for companion animals, exotics, avian, and pocket pets.